guys, here we have the Samsung Galaxy Note 4, and the first thing I want to note is that the box is actually quite small, smaller than it typically comes in. But let's take a look around it. It's pretty typical stuff from Samsung. Taking a look in the back is where you see all of the specs. This is a 32GB model. So some of the specs included are a 5.7 Quad HD Super AMOLED display, which basically means it's going to look really nice, tons of pixels. It should be really sharp, sharper than full HD. It also has a wide angle selfie mode for the front facing camera, which is 3.7 megapixels. And it also has optical image stabilization, which is very awesome if you're doing video or taking low light photos. And the camera actually has 16 megapixels, so that's awesome stuff. I really like Samsung's cameras. Also, it has a enhanced S Pen, so for those of you who are familiar with S Pens, it has an enhanced version. You can do a couple more things, more features. It's also got fast charging. It's quick charge 2.0, but a lot of phones are now coming with this quick charge where you'll get a couple of hours in 15 minutes or so. I'll put an annotation somewhere to give you guys the exact stats on that. It's got a 2.7 quad-core processor, and it's also running the latest version of Android. But enough of the specs, let's actually take a look at this thing. So we can put this little guy over here, and we've got some tape, so I'm gonna cut the bottom. So I'm gonna get my little unboxing knife, pop that open, and do an easy slice. Boom. So put this away. And let's see this guy. Now, typically, I would not ever even consider using a Note because it's so large. But I've been using the 6 Plus, and I definitely feel like I can get used to a bigger phone. So this is it, and it is a bigger phone, but it's not overwhelming now that I've been using the iPhone 6 Plus. So there we have it. Let's see what else we've got inside. We've got some T-Mobile SIM card stuff. Let's see here. We've got some warranty information and instructions and all that good paperwork that we all love to sit down and read all the time. So put that to the side. We've got a regular micro USB cable. Interesting that they didn't come. Oh, this doesn't even have a 3.0 USB port. Interesting. So we'll put that to the side. And the reason I bring that up is because the Galaxy S5 does. We've got the wall adapter. We've got a clip of some sort. I'm not sure what this is for. Looks like it's, oh, for the S Pen. Okay, so we've got some stuff for the S Pen. We've got some headphones included in here as well, some in-ear buds. I love in-ear buds. We've got some ear tips, some extra ear tips, as well as this huge battery. And this battery, I believe, is 3200 milliamps. Yeah, so this is a 3200 milliamp battery, which is freaking huge. Awesome battery size. So that's one of the best things about the Note, just how long it can last. It can last a very long time because of this huge battery. So that's pretty much all the contents inside of the box. So we're gonna put some of this stuff aside, and let's take a closer look at the phone. So here we have it, some sloppy plastic all over. So we'll peel all of this stuff off, and then we'll take it off from the front. There we go. And here it is. Man, this is a gorgeous device. So let's take some of this plastic off the sides, because one thing that they introduced with the Note 4 is that it now has these chamfered edges, and it's got like a metal frame around it. So that's awesome, and it's supposed to help it feel really premium, and it actually does feel really good. This feels pretty solid. Very light right now because there's no battery inside, but aside from the metal sides, you also have that same regular faux leather in the back. It gives you that fake leather feel, but still feels pretty decent. Let's put this battery in so we can actually get a good feel of it. And if we take a quick look at the back, you can see the huge area for the battery, as well as a SIM card slot and a micro SD card slot. So you can expand the storage here from 32 gigs to a bigger size with a memory card of your choosing. So now I have the battery installed, and I gotta say guys, it's still very light, and I'm really loving the feel of this thing. This thing feels solid in the hand. It definitely doesn't feel cheap at all. I also have the Samsung Galaxy S5 right here, and this feels like your typical cheap feeling Samsung phone. It's not that bad, but it does feel a lot cheaper than this thing. This feels really good. I love what they've done with the side, so this is really good stuff. So let me give you guys a quick tour around the device. Up top, we've got that 3.7 wide angle front facing camera, and this is a wide angle so that it can take selfies of all sorts. You guys should be going crazy about that. But it's got that, and it's got the 16 megapixel rear camera, and this has optical image stabilization, which is really awesome like I mentioned before. You've of course got your fingerprint scanner. Bottom says Galaxy Note 4. It also has your speaker on the left side or the right side, depending on how you're looking at it. But it has the speaker on the right side of the back, so if you're facing the front, it has the speaker on the right side. Also under that, you have the S Pen. So this is something I've never used before. So I'm gonna see how useful this is in everyday life, if you can actually have a bunch of applications that you can use this in your everyday life. The top also has your 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, so you can plug in your headphones. You've got your IR blaster on the other side, and you've got your volume controls, which actually feel really nice in the hand. Power button on the right side. You also have your charging port at the bottom next to the stylus. And this is just a regular micro USB, not 3.0. And pretty much that's it. So let's actually power this thing on and see how it looks.